craft the Hellstone bars, you also need obsidian. I believe it's 3 ore, yeah, 3 ore and 1 obsidian to make a Hellstone bar. So I've got 44, not quite enough to craft a whole set of armor. I'm gonna go back using our obsidian skin potions to continue mining, um, just to get enough to create everything we can make. So, okay, so just from using 2 more of these obsidian skin potions, so about 10 minutes worth of mining, I was able to mine about 145, 150 hellstone bars plus extra hellstone. And that's going to allow us to get our molten set of armor. If I go ahead and equip that, our defense goes up to 34 from 22, so it's quite a bit stronger than the B armor. Let's take this armor off as well, just so we can have a look at it. Bear with me. Okay. So that's what our molten armor looks like. Everywhere you go, you look like you're on fire. Looks pretty cool. This used to be the best armor in the game a long time ago. Anyways, the set bonus gives us 17% extra melee damage. This is our first dedicated melee armor. The Crimson armor was pretty good for that purpose up until now. But this is the first one that gives us a straight bonus to melee damage. So if you really like using the yo-yos or the beekeeper, swords, spears, whatever, flails, this is the armor for you. It's also a good armor to use even if you're a spellcaster or something else, just because the armor is so high that it's going to make it very useful to help us survive. We also want to get some of this other stuff. The imp staff is going to be our new summon item. Some of these little imp dudes, I believe they shoot. We also have some direct tool upgrades, a new sword and a new bow. This sword is part of that recipe I was telling you about, where we combine it all to make one really cool sword. And then molten pickaxe is important. It allows us to mine better ore in the near future. And then direct upgrade to our ham axe. And the bow, why not? I believe there are a few things that we can upgrade as well using the hellstone bars. Yeah, if we take a handgun, combine 10 hellstone bars, it upgrades it to a phoenix blaster. Also, if we take a enchanted boomerang, 10 hellstone bars, make a flamerang, just direct upgrade. And then you can also make hellfire arrows from regular wooden arrows combined with hellstone. We also found a lot of those hellfire arrows. They do a lot of damage and they have a small explosion when they hit. So if you are using a bow, then you're going to want to craft those. That's it. I think there's one other thing. Something I wanted to show you guys. Oh yeah, I wanted to go ahead and put together this fiery greatsword. So I'll collect all the parts I need and then I'll come back. So I've got all the ingredients. To craft this thing you need to be at one of those altars. I'm not quite at the altar yet, but I wanted to show you guys how ridiculous this fiery greatsword is. It's just silly. That's all I can say. It's a lot of fun, so it's worth keeping an extra one of these around. Alright, so here's the Knight's Edge. What we need is, first is the Blood Butcherer, which we craft from the ingredients of the second boss. If you have a Crimson World, it's either going to be, or sorry, if you have a Crimson World, it's going to be from the Crimtane ore and stuff that the Brain of Cthulhu drops. If you have a Corruption World, it's going to be the drops from the Eater of Worlds, the Corrupt ore, and it's some other kind of sword. I don't remember what it's called, but either or. Um, the next piece is the Muramasa, which we found in a chest in the dungeon. You always find at least one. I happen to find two in this dungeon. Third piece is the Blade of Grass, which you craft from ingredients you find in the jungle. And the last piece is the Fiery Greatsword that you find in the underworld. Or you craft it from the Hellstone, which you find in the underworld. Combine them all together and you get your Knight's Edge, which isn't quite as large as the Fiery Greatsword, but it does a lot more damage. It is also combined with items later on to make one of the best swords in the game, so I highly recommend taking the time to make one of these. And almost everything at this stage in the game we can just destroy in one hit with this sword, especially combined with this armor that increases the damage of melee weapons. If you remember how hard it was to kill zombies at the beginning of the game, it can be kind of refreshing to just plow through them with a sword like this. So now we've got that made, now I can go ahead and end the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe to see next episode. We're going to go back to the underworld and set the stage for our fight with the boss of the underworld. There's also a few things that we want to take care of up here on the surface before we kill that boss. Killing that boss unlocks the second half of the game. A lot of stuff is going to change. The enemies are going to get a lot tougher. So we want to kind of prepare our base and the surface area around our base for that change. So, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.